St. Charles Parish Parks and Recreation. 11 to 12 baseball rules. General rules. Eligibility and rosters. The age cutoff for league play is April 30th for boys and January 1st for girls, following OTS Manual Article 20. Only newcomers to the parish may be added to a team roster after league play begins. Players must compete within the boundaries of their assigned booster club, as outlined in OTS Manual Article 4. Players may only play in an older age group if there are no available teams in their appropriate age group within their booster club, or to booster club's discretion with approval of St. Charles Parish Department of Parks and Recreation. Team rosters will be automatically split if they exceed 24 players, per OTS Manual Article 4. Game and field regulations. Ground rules for specific fields must be discussed and agreed upon by both coaches and umpires before the game starts. Only coaches, players, and scorekeepers are permitted in dugouts. Coaches must always carry their background screening badge. Coaches may not physically assist base runners during live play. Doing so results in the runner being called out. Players should enter and exit the field efficiently to maximize game time. All players must play at least 2 full innings. Free defensive substitutions are allowed, though teams must maintain a set batting order. Coaches may withhold a player from participating due to disciplinary reasons or consecutive missed practices. Sportsmanship and conduct. Coaches are responsible for ensuring proper behavior from their assistant coaches, players, parents, and spectators. Coaches are required to complete the coach's code of ethics prior to the first game. Heckling opposing players is strictly prohibited. Smoking, vaping, and tobacco use, dip/chew, are not allowed on the field, in dugouts, or in the stands. Alcoholic beverages are not permitted at any youth games or practices per OTS Manual Article 32. Loud music in dugouts or the stands before or during games is prohibited and may lead to forfeiture or ejection. Game scheduling and weather policy. Games will begin on time. A 15-minute grace period is granted only for the first game of the day. Only the Department of Parks and Recreation may postpone or reschedule games. Games will not be rescheduled for vacations or non-SCPRD-affiliated events. Games may be rescheduled only for school functions that prevent a team from fielding the minimum number of players. Weather-related cancellations will be rescheduled if the calendar allows. Playoff games will be rescheduled for the next available playing day. Coaches should check the league website, scpparksandrec.com, for weather-related updates. Safety and equipment regulations. Batting helmets are required for all batters and base runners. Face guards are recommended but optional. Baseball players are encouraged to wear protective cups. Catchers must wear a hard protective cup. Fake bunts followed by swings are not allowed. Violations result in an immediate out with no warning. Players may not wear metal cleats. Only molded or plastic screw-in cleats are permitted. Players with plaster or metal casts are not allowed to participate. Coaches are responsible for maintaining all equipment provided by the St. Charles Parish Department of Parks and Recreation. Disciplinary actions. Ejected coaches, players, or parents must leave the park immediately and will be suspended for the next game. A second ejection will result in a 2-year suspension from any SCPRD recreational program. Before returning, coaches must complete an online sportsmanship course via the Coach's Corner at scpparksandrec.com. Any physical or verbal assault on an official, coach, player, or spectator will result in a 1-year ban from SCPRD events. Failure to leave the premises after an ejection may result in law enforcement intervention. Legal consequences. Louisiana state law. Louisiana law, Reverend Stat. and Section 14-34-4, enforces penalties for battery against sports officials, including fines of $1,000 to $5,000, mandatory community service, and potential jail time, 5 to 6 months. If serious injury occurs, penalties increase, including longer jail sentences and required anger management counseling. By participating in the league, all players, coaches, and spectators agree to adhere to these policies. Violations may result in suspensions or removal from the program. Thank you for your cooperation in ensuring a safe, fair, and enjoyable experience for everyone involved. 11-12 Year-Old Boys Baseball Rules. General information. 1. Coaches. All coaches must be at least 18 years old and pass a mandatory background check. Each team may have 1 manager and up to 2 coaches on the roster. While on defense, all coaches must remain inside the designated dugout area. 2. Game time. Teams should arrive 15 minutes before their scheduled game time to allow for warm-ups and preparation. 3. Postponements and rescheduling. Only the Department of Parks and Recreation can postpone or reschedule games. Games will not be rescheduled for vacations or other non-SCPRD activities. Games may be rescheduled if a school function prevents a team from having enough players. Weather-related cancellations will be rescheduled if possible, depending on league calendar availability. Playoff games that are canceled due to weather will be rescheduled for the next available playing day. 4. Team size. Teams must have a minimum of 8 players to start a game, with no penalty for having fewer than 9. A full lineup consists of 9 players, including 3 outfielders. Late arriving players may be added to the lineup upon arrival. 5. Tobacco, vaping, and alcohol. Smoking, vaping, chewing tobacco, dip, and alcohol are strictly prohibited on the field and in dugouts. Violations may result in game forfeiture. Equipment rules. 1. Batting helmets. All batters, on-deck hitters, and base runners must wear helmets while on the field of play. Face masks are optional but recommended. 2. Catchers. Catchers must wear a full set of protective gear including face mask with helmet, chest protector, shin guards, protective cup, catcher's mitt. Fielding gloves are not permitted for catchers. 3. Game balls. Each team must provide game balls for play. Field dimensions. 1. Base distance. Bases are located 70 feet apart. 2. Pitching distance. Players will pitch from a 50-foot distance. Gameplay rules. 1. Run rule. If a team leads by 10 runs after 4 complete innings, the game ends. If a team leads by 15 runs after 3 complete innings, the game ends. 2. Time limit. Games last 1 hour and 15 minutes, drop time, or 6 innings, whichever comes first. No new inning will start after 1 hour and 5 minutes. 3. Innings. Each half inning consists of 3 outs. 4. Base running. Leading off and stealing bases are allowed in this division. 4A. Sliding and contact. Sliding is allowed. If a tag play is evident, runners must slide or avoid contact with the defensive player. Malicious contact supersedes obstruction penalties and is at the umpire's discretion. If determined malicious, the runner will be called out and may face ejection. Jumping over defensive players is not allowed. Runners who do so will be called out. 4B. Courtesy runners. A courtesy runner for the catcher of record, previous inning, may be used. The courtesy runner must be the last recorded out. In the first inning, visiting team only, the previous batter not on base may be used. If a courtesy runner is used, the substituted player must catch the next inning. 4C. Overthrows. If a thrown ball goes out of play, the runner is awarded 1 additional base. Batting rules. 1. Drop third strike rule. Batters may attempt to reach first base on a dropped third strike if first base is unoccupied or there are 2 outs with a runner on first. 2. Hit by pitch. If a batter is hit by a pitch, they will be awarded first base. 3. Bunting rules. Bunting is allowed, but fake bunting followed by a swing is prohibited. Slash bunts are illegal. If attempted, the ball is ruled dead. The batter is out. No runners advance. 4. Slinging bats. If a batter slings their bat, the team will receive 1 warning. After a warning, any batter who slings a bat will be called out. The umpire's judgment is final. This is not an appeal play. 5. Ground rule doubles. Any fair ball that bounces over the fence, goes under the fence, or rolls through a fence will be ruled a ground rule double. Additional rules. 1. Infield fly rule. The infield fly rule is in effect for this age group. 2. Interference. Interference rules will be enforced for batters who deliberately distract the pitcher or catcher, catchers who interfere with a batter's swing. 3. Pitching rules. Coaches are responsible for tracking pitch counts and ensuring compliance. Balks will be enforced after a one-time warning. 4. Mandatory rest days for pitchers. A player who pitches more than 3 innings in one day must rest the next day. A player who pitches 8 innings over 2 consecutive days must rest the next day. A player who pitches for 3 consecutive days must rest on the 4th day. Playoff rules. 1. Time limits for playoff games. The championship game will be 6 innings or a 1 hour 30-minute time limit. No new inning will start after 1 hour and 20 minutes. The final inning must be completed before the game is officially over. 2. Tiebreaker. After completion of designated number of innings, or when time limits have expired, and the score is tied, the tiebreaker procedure will begin. The player, who had the last completed at-bat, assumes a position on second base. A courtesy runner may be used for the catcher. This procedure would be done at the beginning of each inning until a winner is determined. If the wrong player is placed on second base, the correct runner should be inserted immediately, even if a pitch has been thrown or the runner has advanced to base. All play made while the incorrect runner was on base stands. It is the responsibility of the umpire and opposing team to notify the teams involved as to which player starts the half inning at second base. 3. Regular season standings. Standings are not kept during the regular season. The end-of-season tournament will be determined by a random draw. 4. Protest procedure. To protest a call during the playoffs. Call timeout during the next dead ball. Inform the umpire and the opposing coach. Submit a written protest to the Recreation Department within 24 hours. 4. A player eligibility protest. If a player's eligibility is questioned, the player must sign their name and birth date in the opposing team's scorebook. The protest will be reviewed within 1 working day. The player may continue to play while the protest is under review. Proceed to the quiz.